Hey, hey, beautiful people. How are we doing? I am Anitra and Lawson, storyteller, producer, educator, content creator. He is Dr. Andre Evans. I'm going to call him a social code breaker for the Evans family. Yep, social code breaker for the Evans family, just breaking everything. We are the Savage Siblings, and this is the Savage Siblings podcast, where we are brutally honest, relentlessly transparent, and unapologetically authentic. So glad you guys are rocking with us for another episode. Listen, welcome back to part 2. Yep, this is part 2 of Act Like You Got Some Sense. Listen, we've all said it to someone, or someone has said it to us, right? That someone has said, act like you got some sense. And if they didn't say that, you know what they said? They probably said something like, I can't take you anywhere, which that's the same thing, right? Both of these statements speak to the topic for this episode and last episode. Last ep, we left off discussing social codes in our lives, all of them, right? Starting with the family brand and the development of those social codes moving into societal standards, right? The standard operating procedures that we got to deal with in society. And really how we navigate that, right? We navigate what family instills in us, or maybe what our families didn't instill in us, and how society impacts that. So this is part 2 of that discussion. So of course, if you didn't listen to part 1, please put a pause right now, go and listen to part 1. So you can get all caught up, because we define social codes from our perspective. We talk about family branding as part of that definition, and how society impacts all of that. So we laid a lot of foundation, did some groundwork. Please go back and check it out. Now, if you're all caught up, we got a lot more to discuss in this part 2 of the episode. So right here, right now, part 2 of Act Like You Got Some Sense. Y'all ready? Here's the question. You ready to get savage? Good. Let's get savage.
What's so crazy is as we're talking about the 2 definitions, family, siblings, and we're going to move on to a third one real quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're hitting both sides. Mine seems to be so externally driven. Yours seems to be really internally driven.
Yep.
And we were raised in the same household, just coded 2 different ways. But when you put them both together, it still has to create this resolve that then when you get out into society, and society says, what are you made of? And society says, are you coded strong? Can I change your coding? Can I change your DNA?
So good.
Right? Because in terms of social norms, social behavior, code of conduct, by society standard, culture is the most significant feature in society. So the question becomes, are you coded in a way that society cannot change who you are?
Yeah.
Because if it does, then you really don't have a social code.
Yeah.
You really don't have a family brand. And that's not, we got to be able to maintain, those things that make us who we are as a member of our family, make us who we are as a member in terms of culture and heritage. And those are those sum total of just kind of our behavior patterns, our attitudes, our values, and then those things we share with others, but at the same time we hold fast to how we've been raised. And the truth of the matter is so much of our human behavior really does vary a lot under different social conditions. Well, the only thing that can be standard then is what was coded in you. How were you raised? What makes you your family? And how does that withstand just kind of socially? Because what you can't do is let society define who you are.
Right. That's good.
You have to be such a strong definition of your family that society says you are what makes our culture. Like, I'd rather society say, because of who Andre and Nikki were as representing the Evans family, they are part of the reason why we have culture. Without them, we don't have culture. We have assimilation.
Yeah.
And so all of these things kind of add up to how society should define, those social codes or those social behaviors, from an anthropological standpoint, at least.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's get into this. Wait, I'm sorry. Did you want to add to that?
I was just going to say, I feel like, and you kind of hinted at it, but definitely
society challenges that what those social codes are for you that your family built. And so while we're going to uh, see it, experience it, because you have to go out and live in the world and you're around
Mm-hmm.
all these different
Mm-hmm.
people, the melting pot society, the different economic statuses, and all those different things. It's like you said, you have to make sure that you can stay grounded in your family legacy, your family brand, but also take the areas where you might want to broaden, where
Yeah.
you
Yeah, that's
might
good.
want to add some bits to your identity, your brand that
Yeah.
make you and the
Yeah.
family better. And I want to
Yeah.
go back to your fashion thing. I don't know if you remember, we used to call my brother Mr. GQ,
Yeah, I
because of
remember.
how into fashion he was, and he wanted to look a certain way. And I agree, he got that from dad, because mom and I are not stylish at all. Dad is more stylish, but
Right.
Andre took it a step further. And I was talking to mom about this, and in terms of how society can attempt to put pressures, right, on your family brand and your social codes, and then you got to figure out how to react. And she said, I never forget when I think you got into middle school, into high school, for young men at that time, brand name clothing was a big deal. Like is
Mm-hmm.
a status
Mm-hmm.
situation,
Yeah.
and our family's trying to figure things out economically. What the way mom described it was, she said it was more important for your brother to have one really nice name brand outfit or pair of shoes, and he was okay with that, versus me, I like variety and I didn't care anything about name brands. So she said,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
could take the same budget, I could buy you 15 outfits, from Sears,
Right.
and
Right.
you would mix and match them and dress them up and add your accessories, and you were good. Dre would be like, "No, get me that one Puma, that one Adidas,
Yeah.
that one Nike."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he was fly, and he was like, "It's going to do what it needs to do." And so that again speaks to how, yeah, society is going to try to pressure, add, change, your social family codes. But then you have to figure out how you work through it. And it's the same thing I think about with Malachi, is that, it's less about what clothes he wears, more about the shoes. That's become kind of the thing. And,
Sure. Sure.
what brand of shoes, and that begins to matter. But Kai is hard on his shoes. Like, he's like me, that he's hard on them. And so the more pairs he has, the longer that they'll last, and he's got to learn how to protect. And that's what I've just basically told him, is that you're going to have to take care of your shoes. We're going to get two good name brand ones that you like, and then we're going to get these other off brand on sale ones, and
Right.
you're going to have
Right.
to make that work. But that's the idea, is it can't come and subsume you. You can't let society say you got to have this, you must do this.
Right.
You
Right.
If that's going to take you out of your economic status, which that then becomes a challenge, because you
It
can't afford all
does.
those shoes.
Right.
You can't afford to get out. You don't
Right.
need to get credit cards to do it, to try to keep up with the Joneses, and that's a whole
Right.
nother coding issue, right? And so it's making sure that the value system in the family brand that's been established, that's healthy and it's good, you maintain it. But you find some ways, like Bro did. He like, just give me one dope outfit, once a quarter, I'm good,
Right.
or however that approach is. And the other thing I want to say is, it's funny that when you get to a place, and I didn't know this, mom shared this with me about you, bro, but there's also a time where you are broadening your identity, your social codes, and it brings you joy. So apparently, you guys, my brother started picking his destination cities, the cities he would move to based on the professional sports team.
On teams. Yeah. Yeah.
Which in my mind is like, what? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
But he had gotten to a place where he could do that, and it brought him joy. And it certainly wasn't our brand. Listen, my dad don't want to move ever. Like, he is so
Ever.
happy being
Yeah.
exactly where he is, and my mom will stay wherever she is forever.
Yes.
That's not
Yeah.
me. I like to travel, but home is home. But my brother, apparently, Charlotte, it was a good spot.
Yeah.
I
Great
I
sports
understand.
atmosphere.
I understand he almost had like a full meltdown when the Chargers left San Diego and came
Yes,
to
I
LA.
did. Yes.
Like, we had to have
Wasn't no
intervention,
almost.
right?
Wasn't no almost.
Okay, it just happened. No low key, it just did. And so, but that's something that again is definitely a social, code specific to sports that is now part of his identity. He didn't get it from the family, but it's a place where he can honor it when he can, and it brings him joy. And I definitely think you should allow those spaces where you can.
So let's take that example. It sounds
Sure.
like it's about sports, but really what it's about is the impact that codes have on the family, the social codes have on
Yeah.
the family. I love sports, yes, but the reason why I was picking these cities with these great sports is because of the atmosphere of the city.
Sure.
It meant
There
it
you
would
go.
be vibrant. It meant it would be
Yep.
family oriented. It meant it
Yep.
would have a lot of activity in it. I love Wichita because I'm a country cowboy, but
Mm-hmm.
there wasn't a lot of vibrant activity. Why? Because they couldn't
100%.
attract some of
Yep.
these things that make a vibrant city.
That's good.
So,
Yep.
so, so if when I looked for activities to do in Wichita, I often had to look outside of Wichita,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So no,
Kansas
I'm
City.
choosing Charlotte. I chose San
Mm-hmm.
Diego because of the vibrancy. If you've got
Mm-hmm.
two sports teams, it wasn't even. I love the sports, but what it was really about is you got a city that has a lot going on, and that's
Mm-hmm.
directed to who I am social in my social coding. Because remember, Dad was always like, "No, let's go see the Grand Canyon. Let's go to
Yes.
Disneyland.
I'm
Let's
like that.
go
Yep.
to Vegas." So he put in me get out and enjoy life.
Yeah.
So since my coding in terms of who we were social economically said, well, we're not millionaires. Therefore, I need to pick a city where I don't have to go
That's good.
far. It's already here.
That's good. That's
Right.
good.
So that's what I was looking at. I was looking at, well,
Mm-hmm.
what's this going to cost me to live here? Because I like this type of lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
What's
Mm-hmm.
it going to cost me to live here because I like this type of behavior,
Yeah.
right? And so that speaks to kind of what you said a little bit earlier is once you know your social codes, once you know your family legacy, your family brand, once it's in your DNA, set up a life where you can live within that. Now, I'm not talking about finances. I'm just talking about life. Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah.
are you? The way your parents put in you. If you are a thrill seeker, seek out a life where you don't have to go outside of your coding
Mm-hmm.
in order to fulfill your thrill seeking, because because if you break the code, if you're
Mm-hmm.
breaking the code, the social code, the code of conduct, then you're stepping one outside of who you naturally are. You're stepping
Mm-hmm.
outside of what's been kind of ingrained in you. You're stepping out, and you're putting yourself in a position where you may expose that what you were not this, like, this isn't
Yeah.
how you were raised, this isn't
Mm-hmm.
this isn't what you do. You may be exposing the fact that you can't handle life in certain areas. I
Yeah.
remember, and I will see if I can make, I remember a time we were at Kings Island, and
Mm-hmm.
so the social coding in my life at that point is this is how we behave, this is how we carry ourselves, this is the way we think, this is the way we handle life, and when we do things the way that we are to do, Andre, good things come to you. You get to
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
good things. And so we're in Kings Island. That's the black man's Disney World because it's a great place.
Yeah.
And so we're in Kings Island, and I had a moment where I broke the social code.
Mm-hmm.
I acted in a way that I wasn't raised to act.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were in this you were too young, I'm sure, to remember this. We were in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
long table with family members and people all around watching and seeing us enjoy and behave according to the way that we were raised to behave, acting like we have some sense. And I had a moment where I broke the code of logic and sense and sensibility.
No, no.
And mom slapped me.
Oh God.
The whole table stopped what it was doing and looked at me. The rides in the park stopped and
Froze.
looked at me. The grease that was frying the corn dogs stopped and looked at me.
Right.
The animatronics in Smurf Island stopped and looked at me. And it was in that moment I realized, there's a real pain in breaking the code, the
Yes.
social code. Now, I'm telling y'all a surface level story, but there's a truth to what I'm saying. there's a truth to what I'm saying. The
Yep.
reason why, the impact that social codes have on you
Yeah.
is to make sure you stay within this ability to live life at its best and not step outside of who you
Yep.
are. Not
Yeah.
step outside of who you are, because it hurts when you
Right.
step outside of who you are.
Yes, it does.
And I'm going to say something. Not everybody that's going to hear this was meant to be a millionaire. Stop
Mm.
stepping outside of your social economic code.
Wow.
Find joy where you
Ooh.
are. Not
Yeah. Yeah.
everybody who's hearing this is supposed to live in a big mansion on a high hill. Stop stepping
Mm-hmm.
outside of what makes a home. This is
That's
how
so good.
your parents raised you, your siblings added to your coding in order for
Yeah.
you to be able to take what life gives you and make the best out of it. I'm not
That's
saying you
good.
can't
That's
get
good.
better, but I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
when you
Yeah.
step outside of your code of conduct, you start to expose what's not in your DNA, what's not a part of who you are. And
That's so good.
that's the impact of what social
Mm-hmm.
codes have on you at generation to
Mm-hmm.
generation as family. But that's also that those moments where your mom,
Teaching
your
everybody else.
dad, listen, teaching everybody else. There's certain codes that should never be broken,
Right.
ever, ever be broken. Otherwise, you like me gonna get slapped by this world, and
Everybody be
everything
like, don't do
around
that.
you gonna stop. Everything around you gonna stop and look at you for exposing what's not in your DNA, what's not in your family, your social code DNA. So yeah, no, listen,
Ooh.
listen. Social codes definitely have an impact on you, and you just stay within them. Just stay within them.
You guys
Yeah,
could clearly see Dre. They dealt with Dre much more harshly because he needed that. And I remember Dad
yeah,
correcting me and really teaching me. Um, he taught me not to be careless with people's time, and I'm bringing this
yeah.
up here in terms of social codes. As I was the one that was late to the podcast recording today, I will acknowledge
Right,
that
right,
part right
right.
now. I was late,
You said
but I
today.
never
That's funny.
forget today. No, no, like yeah, okay, hush. Anyway, I'm still working on. I'm still working. I'm growing. So, but the
Okay.
first time that I heard, someone say to me and help me, really put time in a different reference that it's not yours. Like when other people are expecting you, you're now taking their time, a precious commodity that they can't get back, and they've entrusted that time to you. We were supposed to go to dinner. We did go, but a dinner with an aunt and an uncle in Wichita, and his dad, me. You were already in college. This is when I was in high school. And I mean, I don't remember what time. I don't remember what time I was supposed to be there, but they told me, let's say it's 3:30 in the afternoon. That that's when we're going to leave the house to go to meet them. So I had left that day, and they said be back. We'll say by 3:30. Now, Dre, I pull up to our place at like 3:28, maybe
Okay.
3:29. Now,
Okay.
in my mind, I'm on time, and I walk in the house like y'all ready? Like I'm here, and Dad is frustrated, and I'm going, you said be here at 3:30. Now this is
Mm-hmm.
before cell phones.
Right.
I think I may have had a pager, but my parents never would have used it.
Right.
Uh, and so by the time I got there, they had already told my aunt and uncle to push dinner back by like an hour.
Ooh boy.
And I had said, "But why? You told me to be here at 3:30. It's 3:29. I'm on time." And Dad said to me,
Mm-mm.
"It's inconsiderate for you to
Mm-mm.
show up on time for people that are waiting for you. You show up
Ooh.
early,
Yes,
and
Lord.
that's considered on time."
Yes,
And it's the
Lord.
first time I had ever heard that. And I just remember thinking, because if they don't know, right? And I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wait until that, I'm still late. I'm still
Yeah.
parking the car, still walking in,
Yeah.
still whatever.
Yeah.
And it was just such a good lesson. And I do honor it. Although, like I said, Dre is right. I've fallen short these last couple podcast rounds,
Yeah.
but it helped to instill in me being early is to be on time. And I'm gonna tell you, as far as I know, our dad, I don't know him to be late. Now maybe that's the
Never.
military
Mm-mm.
background.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know
can't
him to
think
be
of
late.
one
Mm-mm.
time ever.
Mm-mm.
And for him to be on time is already late. To be
Absolutely,
early
it
is to
is.
be on time.
Yes.
And that was the first time. And like you said, they definitely code to me different. They definitely code more to the internal side of me, the emotions and the consideration. But that is exactly what he said. He said, "You're being careless with our time. How would you feel if someone was careless with yours?" And he knows
Woo.
that I don't like that. Don't be
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, think about that because you need to work on it. And so when we talk about, the codes that families teach that they do not need to be broken anywhere, he understood that, if you want to disrespect yourself and be late to everything you got going on by
Go
yourself,
ahead.
that's your
Go ahead.
business.
That's your
But
business.
don't you do that to everybody else. Don't do it beyond here. And if you do it with something as simple as a dinner with your family, you will do it at work. You will do it for interviews. You will do it
Yeah.
for deadlines
Yeah.
and jobs.
Yeah.
You will continue to perpetuate that behavior. And he really
Yeah.
helped me kind of hone in on it. And so that again, you don't want it to be broken anywhere. And that is the things that family codes definitely speak to, that then should be put out into society as well, that you want to maintain. Don't do that. Don't be the person that, oh, Anitra's always late. Oh, Anitra's always this. And it's something I truly am doing my best to honor. And I'm good with work and film sets and all that. I've never an issue, but I need to do better with podcasting with my brother.
Well, so then what social codes have we passed on to our children?
So the big one for me, and it also came from our mother. Let me say this too before I dig into this example. I like to assign this notion of challenge and or condemn
Okay.
as part of the development of, wanting to get the family legacy. But because there are social codes that either challenge us to be better or that sometimes unknowingly condemn us and create like a sabotaging space in who we are authentically, I
Yeah.
think this is where we start to try to define what are we passing on, what was passed on,
Got
what
it.
should
Yes,
we keep,
absolutely.
and what should we
Absolutely.
not keep. And so let me start with just our dad. I feel like for him, he was kind of the epitome of do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely,
Like
he was.
100%. Like,
Yes.
and so this is where his mindset was, I am challenging you to be better. There's a legacy that I'm
Right.
establishing, but I want you to be better than me. So dad may say, watch your mouth, don't curse, but we know our dad cursed like a
Like
sailor.
a
Now here's the
sailor
thing.
boy.
I don't believe he ever cursed at work. I don't believe he ever
I
cursed in
don't believe that
public
either.
spaces.
I
I'm
don't
saying
believe
believe
that
because we
either.
don't really know. But at
No.
home, he would let it fly.
No, I've
But
seen
he
him
would
in
also
public
say, watch your
spaces,
mouth.
and he would
Yeah.
never curse in public spaces. Never. But yes, at home, yeah, yes.
He let it fly. Now, our mom, I think I can count on one hand the times that she's cursed. And I think a good chunk of those less than 5 kind of thing were probably her repeating something that
Right.
someone said.
Right.
It just never was in her DNA. She just didn't
No.
really like it. And
Mm-mm.
so what's interesting is I became a really interesting blend of the two of them eventually, but I was first more like my dad. I used to curse like a sailor, get in trouble for it, and dad would say, stop cursing. And it challenged me because I'd be like, you curse. Now I never say that. I want to live. But I felt like that. You curse. Why are you telling me? And it would
Right.
be the do as I say and not as I do. Same thing with television. Like you guys, we were raised, we didn't have any sort of rules about seeing any sort of content on television. I
No.
never remember
Mm-mm.
my dad saying,
There's
oh,
no parental
close your
controls.
eyes or walk away or come back in 5 minutes or fast forward through this scene. He would simply say, what you see on television stays on television.
Don't you repeat what you see. Don't you repeat
it.
what you hear.
Don't you behave that way. And that again was branding, coding.
Yeah.
And so for me, it created it. And I want to say it this way, a challenge, because we know that it's much easier to behave according to what you've seen modeled, what you've seen demonstrated.
Absolutely.
It's just easier to do that. But dad, our parents weren't playing that. It didn't matter if they were doing it. If they told us the better version of you is doing what I say and not what I do, then that's the legacy. Then that's the brand. And that can become challenging. And so I had to learn to overcome cursing, all those things. And so what I noticed with my situation is my mom is prone to apologize a lot, even when there's no need for an apology.
Yeah.
And I never paid attention to it until I got called out on set and at work and around friends who'd be like, why are you apologizing? Like, you didn't do anything. And I was like, do I do that a lot? And they were like, yeah. Well, here's the cold-blooded piece about coding, bro. When I started working on trying to stop doing that, right? It was a challenge for me. And one of, I think it was in a mentoring session, but someone said to me, and it just helped me, he said, ask your son, why, does mommy apologize? You notice she does it a lot, number one. Number two, if so, why does he think I do it? And that's going to break, because our kids, right? are being coded the way we are coded, right, wrong, or indifferent.
Yes.
So I came to Malachi and I said, "Hey, have you noticed his mommy apologize a lot?" He was like, "Oh, all the time. I'm sorry." And I noticed he does it too, right? And I
Yeah.
was like, "I do," but I knew it had to be true because now a lot of people have been saying, and I had noticed it in our mom, and I didn't like it because it would be something like
Wow.
I would wake up and turn on the light by accident. So I'm the one that turned on the light, Dre, and then she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Why are you sorry? I turned on the light. You should be getting on me, right?" Because she's. And so when I asked Kai Malachi, what did he said? Because you need to know that the other person is okay in order for you to be
Wow.
okay. Now this is
Wow.
he at that time he was 10. It's a 10-year-old boy. And
Wow.
mind you, the mentor session I had, they said your kids know you really well.
Yes,
So
yes,
they're always
yes.
going to give you some authentic truth. And he said, so then I understood, oh, so I'm putting other people's well-being before mine. Now, in some cases, empathy is good. In other cases, when you need to make changes, you need to be aware. And so
Mm-hmm.
once that hit me, then I started working on it. So now this over apologizing changes to thank you for your patience, right? Thank you
Right,
for your
right.
patience, Andre, for my tardiness, rather than, I'm so sorry, I'm late again, right? And it doesn't give us a cover up or a pass, but it's changing the way that we talk. And that's just one of many examples.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I
yeah.
started to see how I got it from mom and then I had passed it to Kai. And so in our house here, we have basically an apology jar. And so the option is if you're apologizing for just incorrect reasons, because we all have struggled with it, you got to put some money in that
Oh,
jar, or you
wow.
got to write something
Oh,
nice about
wow.
yourself, because we all do it more
We
than we
do it.
need to. And again,
Mm-hmm.
family coding is also about proximity and time
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
spend. So again,
yeah.
this challenge notion is sometimes you're challenging to be better. There's a brand you're trying to establish, but the proximity pushes against that. I want to
Right.
stop eating this, but everybody bringing it in the house. I want to change. And so you have to put some parameters in there. And the last thing I'll say, and I'm going to kick it back to you, is when it comes to, the family codes, not all those family codes are going to, I'll say, integrate into your personal
Mm-hmm.
identity.
Absolutely.
And so that's okay. You want to honor what makes sense and what is good, and then it's okay to change that. This is like classic the people that were raised in church, and as soon as they get out of their parents' home, they're like, this
Yep.
doesn't
Buck
integrate with
wild.
me.
Yep.
And I want to say church. Well, I'm gonna say a couple of things. Church, because church is different from spiritual,
Yes, it is.
and
Yes, it is.
faith based things that are one on one with God. One of our family members, I don't want to be too specific here, when he first moved to LA and he was raised in church, and his latter years he never wanted to be in church. But
Mm-mm.
so when he first moved to LA, one of his first like side hustle gigs was, and this church is so trifling, but they would pay certain people to basically air quotes uh, raise the spirit. So he was paid to
Oh my
basically
God.
pretend to get happy, right?
Oh
And that
my
would
God.
lead into praise. And when he was telling me the story, I first of all I was laughing. I couldn't believe it. Second of
Oh
all,
my
shame on
God.
that church. I know God
Right.
is not pleased.
Absolutely. At
But what
all.
happened was he would do this job and they had it all worked out where he and this other guy would get to hooping and hollering and he'd fall and that guy catch him and he said, and I said, well, that's a pretty good gig,
Right.
I said, what happened?
Right.
I said, clearly you don't care. So what happened? And well, I guess one day the guy didn't catch him and he went down and hit his head. And he said, I didn't go there anymore. I said, that was God getting you right because he was about to strike that church down. So, but the idea is that was part of the coding as he grew up not really liking church. Then he saw this kind of
Yeah.
facade in that. And so sometimes certain things just won't integrate into who you are. And I think
Right.
that's
Right.
where if it's going to be a space where it really is sabotaging who you are, it really is creating something in your character that is not good. And yes, family legacies, can do that. Family
They
coding
definitely can.
can bring on things that are condemning for your identity. Then yeah, you got to definitely get some space and change it. But I think those are examples of things that we can pass on. And I think if it challenges you to be better and
Mm-hmm.
strive for the best version of yourself, then fight within yourself to make it better. Fight to grab hold of it, to develop it, keep pushing, and don't get upset if you don't get it, right away, if it takes time. If it's condemning and it's
If it's
sabotaging
condemning,
to your
yeah.
authentic self, then
Yeah.
fight to let go of it. Fight to let go of
Yeah.
it. So what are your thoughts there, bro?
No, I was saying wow when you were talking about, the apologizing because I do
Mm-hmm.
that. And
Ooh,
I didn't
see?
realize I got that from mom. I do that
Yep.
all the time. I
Well,
am
Dad and Grandma never apologize. Never.
no, listen,
Neither one
my
of them ever
goodness.
apologize.
Listen. And
Ever.
but what's funny is I'm looking at Daniela, Corinne, and Corey. They don't apologize for nothing.
Nope.
Like at all. Like
Right.
so they are so that part of mom, which is
Mhm.
part of me, did not integrate in them because they don't
Right.
apologize for nothing. But the part of dad that's gone through me that has integrated in Corinne and Corey, I know, not so
Yep.
much Daniela, is
Mhm.
dad's quiet, reserved, demeanor, whether it's in
Mhm.
person, in private, or in public. Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
Corinne and Corey, yeah, when we all get in public, we don't talk to nobody. We
Mhm.
don't say
Mhm.
nothing to anybody. We're not social beings at all.
Sure.
And
Sure.
I noticed that they do that. And I never said to them, hey, don't be telling our business. They just I
Mm-mm.
know they've watched me,
Yep.
and
100%.
they know that I find real joy in being the mysterious person in the room because I feel like the more you talking too much in public exposes too much of who you are privately. So
Yep.
just don't talk. Don't let them know your next move, right? Like
Right.
don't tell
Bobbity
nobody
weaving.
anything, right? So that evidently does integrate well for Corinne and
Yeah.
Corey
Yeah.
because that's who they are now. They have a very small circle. Always have
Mhm.
had a very small circle. And when they're in public, they don't matter. When they're in private, they just, they still just ain't going to talk much. So yeah, there is definitely some validity to, this is what I saw mom and dad do. So I
Mhm.
started doing it. But then there's some things I don't carry on with me. And then there's some things that I do because I see, what benefits it for me personally. I think it does benefit me to stay quiet and not let people know
Yeah.
my business.
Sure.
For me
Yeah.
personally and professionally, it's good to stay quiet and
Yeah.
not because the people I professionally who I'm connected with, I'm in mental health and I'm in, church, and these are two
Yeah.
sets of people that you don't
Right.
want to know your personal business. Like,
Gotta
listen.
use wisdom.
Listen, listen, so, listen, because there was a time, so yeah, I'm in mental health and I'm in theology, pastoring, so I'm in shepherding. There was a
Mhm.
time where I shared a little bit about myself. And as a result of sharing that about myself, I ended up with a stalker. Now, ask me
Ooh.
which one did that come from, the mental health or the pastoring? Which,
I
you know
see
what I'm
what you
saying?
mean.
Listen, listen. Some
Was
of
it the
y'all would be,
church?
it was the
Oh,
church. And I'm
that's
like,
so
I
devastating.
thought it would have been the mental health. Like it's a shame when I gotta be more quiet with church folk than a
Mm, mm, mm,
bipolar
mm.
patient, than a schizoaffective
Oh,
patient.
no.
But no,
Even they have boundaries. They're like, "I
right,
won't
right,
bother
right.
you, doctor."
Even a paranoid schizophrenic, like, well, I ain't finna do that. First of all, I don't know if
It's
it's
your off
Andre
day.
talking or this voice in my head, so I ain't gonna do nothing. So let me start there. But
Pause.
so quiet works for me, right?
Mm, mhm,
Talkative. My mom's a very social person. I've never gone
mhm.
anywhere with mom where she wasn't talking
Oh,
to at least 5 or 6 people that she does not
100%.
know. And for
100%. She
her,
gonna
that
know 'em by
works
the end.
well. That works well. She's
Yeah.
never been, we no stalker ends up at her door, but but
Nope.
me, but me, I say one thing. My last name and my first name. Next thing you know, I got somebody at my door. You know what? I got people
Nope.
mailing me stuff, certified mail to make
Oh,
sure I'm
no.
telling you the truth. That's when I got to the point where I was like, no, you know what works for me? Dad works for me. What you
Silence
mean?
is golden.
Keep my mouth closed. Keep my mouth closed. I mean, I'm telling you, listen, and I know this is how I know I passed that on. Corinne walks around, leaves the house with her Bluetooth beats on, ain't listening to anything.
Right.
Why?
Just
So
want
that when
people to
people
think.
talk to her, she she just she just keeps going. And
can
I know
ignore.
she ain't listening to nothing. I know she's not listening to nothing. I know she's not listening to nothing. And,
I don't
'cause
want to talk.
there have been listen, and I just smile when she come out. She
Right.
put the beats on. I just smile. I just smile. 'Cause I know she'll tell you in a hot minute when it's just you. Yeah, my phone really don't work. I don't like to use anything on my data plan. Only when on Wi-Fi. We out in the boondocks. She got on her beats. Folks trying to talk
Right.
to her. She's ignoring them.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, yeah.
If I just keep nodding my head, they'll
Right.
just stop.
And Corey will do the same thing. Corey wears her
Mhm.
little AirPods and listen, that I have passed on to them. The Evans family social code. Keep your mouth closed, don't tell people your business. And that has worked. But then there are other
Yeah.
things that won't work
Yeah.
for them. They don't I grandma passed along to me, a very smart mouth and just judgmental
Yeah. Me too.
conversation
Yep.
about people, right? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
where I could see somebody be like, "Dang,
Help
you
us,
ugly."
Lord.
Like, see, like, why would you come out your house looking like that? But they don't do that. They don't
Yeah,
do it
that's
at
good.
all. Like, they don't do it in
Yeah,
front of me. They don't do it by themselves. They don't
that's
do that.
good.
They let, but there's this, we're in I don't know if part of it is we're in different times because back in the
Mm-hmm.
80s, he was a he. But
Yeah,
today,
no, it's
I
different.
might have to
Pronouns are
be like,
different.
wait, are
Yeah.
you she, they? Like, and
They,
I'm
yeah.
not making
Mm-hmm.
fun of it. It just
No, not
is
at
what
all.
it
Yeah, yeah.
is right now.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and so for Corinne and Corey, they don't come out and assume anybody is
Anything.
anything.
Right.
And
Right.
this is the world they've grown up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that coding stopped. Went from grandma, stopped with me.
Good.
Because Corinne and
Mm-hmm.
Corey, they don't make the assumptions, they don't make the
Yeah.
judgment calls, and so
That's so
so
good.
you are so right. Some things integrate, some things don't integrate,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
but the beauty of that is just like you said, the things that don't integrate, those then would have
Mm-hmm.
been the things that tear down our brand, that
Yep.
tear
Exactly.
down the
Mm-hmm.
Evans brand. So they had to
Yep.
stop. And then those things we kept going, that's because they improve or they protect the
Mm-hmm.
Evans brand. And so
That's
that
good.
social coding, this is who the Evans are always going to be socially. This is how they're going to behave socially. This is going
Yeah.
to be their frame of mind socially. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, I echo everything that you said. Some integrate, some don't, but all of
Mm-hmm.
them, what you choose to do, from what you learn from your parents, your grandparents, your siblings, choose those things that improve your brand, improve
Yeah.
who you are, improve your legacy, and stop doing those things
Yeah.
that tear
Exactly.
it
That
down.
tear it down.
Absolutely
Yeah.
tear it down.
Absolutely. Are we ready to jump into the transformational perspective, or a few other
Yeah.
things we wanted to point out?
No, let's jump right into it. Let's jump right. The transformational perspective that is there's always a cheat code, right? So,
Right.
and the reason why we said it this way is because it doesn't matter what kind of coding your family, your parents may have instilled. There's always going to be either one sibling, or that sibling may be you if you just tell the truth. There's always going to be something you do that cheats the code in order to try to continue to get the benefits that come with following the family code, because codes
Mm-hmm.
have to always evolve, excuse me. They got to
Mm-hmm.
always evolve, right? What worked for my dad at my age doesn't work for me.
Yeah, that's good.
But then the cheat code isn't always the right thing to do. So sometimes
Right.
the cheat code, sometimes you're breaking a code in order to try to make an accomplishment, but you're not doing it the right way. It's not the
Yeah.
moral way. It's not the
Mm-hmm.
upstanding way. But I feel like out of the two of us, I'm the one that always tried the cheat code, because there was
Yes.
definitely some things that you learned not to
Right.
do because of my punishment. You learn,
Watching you. It's
and
like,
there's some
ooh.
things that you didn't get to do
Right.
because of my punishment. so here I am trying to cheat the code, and you're the benefactor of the lesson of trying to cheat the code, trying to get
Mm-hmm.
around me, trying to get around some type of punishment or anything. And so yeah, so there's while there is always someone trying to cheat the code, yeah, there's lessons to be learned, and things that yeah, ooh, Jesus. that help evolve you as well if you're the one that's learning the lesson, or you're the one that's watching the lesson being learned indirectly. But here's the question:
Mhm.
is it all necessary? Are
Right,
social
right,
codes necessary? Is it
right, right.
necessary as a parent to
Mm,
instill a code of conduct that represents your family into your
mm,
children? Is it necessary? Or as a child, is it necessary to learn it and keep it going? That's my question.
mhm.
I'm gonna kick that to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so true because I think about it differently, and you already talked about the importance of evolving because life evolves, we evolve, things change. So growing up, when mom would say to me, nothing is happening after 11 p.m. or nothing's open after 11
Right.
p.m. but a liquor store and a pair of legs, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, why are you so extra? Da, 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 da. And then pretty soon you be out enough after 11 p.m. and you realize, man, nothing positive, productive is happening, after this. And so, she's trying to establish, the quality of life that speaks to who I am as a lady, that speaks to protection, right? And that
Right.
reminds me that, there's a quality and a standard that you don't even realize you're going to vacate, that you're going to sacrifice because you just
Right.
want to be out here doing, whatever you want to be doing because you're ignorant of it. And it's like you said, that's the cheat code. I want the
Right. Right.
freedom to simply just go and do what I want to do. And my mom is establishing a standard that says protect yourself from the way that people will try to treat you. Oh, because that's Anitra. Yeah, she always kicking it late. Yeah, she always out late. But we can assume that she wants to do
Mm-hmm.
X, Y, and Z.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's important that we don't try to get the loophole, but just respect the wisdom of either the elders, your older siblings, the people in your life when they are
Right.
trying to give you this code. There's wisdom there because they've been through it. They
Right.
know what's happening after 11 p.m. That's why they're
Right.
saying it, right? Whether
Right.
they experienced it or they witnessed someone else,
Mm-hmm.
going through
Mm-hmm.
some hardships, they're trying to say it. I think another example I'll just throw in here is I think we define it as like toxic masculinity, in today's terms. But this notion that boys, men shouldn't cry, can't
Oh yeah.
cry,
Oh
keep all
yeah.
like
Yeah.
bottle all that in, the negative stigma around this notion of, oh, you got to be tough, you got to be, you can't cry, can't show emotion. That's another situation where that's an old school social code that thank goodness we're starting to break down and tear down and saying that no, that was the cheat code of old because that was the only way that sometimes maybe a single parent understood, or that was the code that a man got from his father, his uncles, his
Absolutely.
cousins, and he passed it on to his son. And
Mm-hmm.
then you're seeing the detriment that it had, the
Right.
impact that it
Right.
had mentally, emotionally, even professionally, when you are keeping all that stuff bottled up. And so we're
Absolutely.
pushing against that cheat code because that really is what it comes down to when a young boy, a young man is crying and they're trying to figure out why they can't allow these emotions to flow. The cheat code is you're a man. You don't do that, be
Yeah.
tough,
Right. You
right?
don't do it.
But
Right.
the reality is Jesus wept. The reality is God gave
Ooh,
us
come on.
tear
Come
ducts.
on.
God
Come on.
created tear
Come on.
ducts.
He created
he
emotion.
he created emotion,
Yeah.
right? And so he's giving this to us because he intends for us to use them, and he's willing to show us and teach us how to understand that. And so
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
just both sides of it, that the cheat code, whether it's me trying to hustle something that I want and I just don't want to acknowledge that there's wisdom and protection in place,
Right.
or if it's really ignorance, right? That's created a cheat code that then we need to challenge and correct. I think when it comes to that, transformational perspective is that, it's a protection. As Bro said, it's self-preservation. There's a balance that we need to kind of look for in familial social codes. And really the mindset is just being open-minded to always considering how you
Mm-hmm.
employ the
Mm-hmm.
codes. What
Right.
is this really going to do? I am glad that my mom made me mindful of being out late after hours. Not that she felt like I was going to do something inappropriate, but she wanted me to understand there's a standard that based on, what happens at this time, just going to go against who you are and who your character is and what you want in the long term. So I
And
think
real
that speaks to that bottom line. Go ahead.
absolutely. And no, and that really is the bottom line. Because think about this. Many of the codes, social codes, the social conducts, the family legacy, the family branding that you receive is because Andre broke a law. So we had
Right.
to establish a code.
Right.
Right? I
Right.
tell people all the time in therapy, I tell people as a pastor all the time that the reason why God has laws, the reason why society has lost because somebody did something that endangered everybody. And so because of that, we now got to develop a policy, a code. We got to develop a statute. We got to develop a law. Well, because of what Andre did, now mom and dad got to develop a code that said, listen, you can't be out at late because ain't nothing but legs and liquor store open. Well, Dad, how you know? Well, because Andre's about to be a father at 16. That's how I know.
That part.
That's how I know. That's right. So that's why you can't be out. Right? That's why you can't go nowhere. That's why you got to be in it. You got to be in as soon as the sun touches the top of the, setting and touches the top of the apartment complex.
Magic hour.
Right. So that's why. Blame Andre for our social code. But then we just pass them down. Listen.
You bring up such a good point. I just have to throw this
watch
in there.
This
okay,
bottom
go ahead.
line. Watch this. I'm going to let you have it. Just say, watch this. Corey said the other day, Dad, do I have to do this because you screwed up as a child? And I had to say, yep. Yep. That's all I can say. Yep. So, yes, the bottom line is absolutely protection and self-preservation. And it's me protecting you, child. It's me preserving your life, child.
Your life.
And she looking at me like, but you did it. You did it. And I'm like, I know. And you don't want to know what it did to me. So, no. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go to bed. There was this time, remember? One time they were young. They were young. And you know you can't play outside. I remember one time Corey had to go to bed and she looked at Katina was like, but the sun is still out.
The sun is still shining.
I don't care. I don't care. If you knew what I did when the sun went down, you understand why you got to go to bed while it's still up. Self-preservation and protection. I'm telling you, self-preservation and protection. Absolutely.
I love it. You just made me think, and this is gonna be really short, and we'll move on into the quick shot. But you just made me think about all of those warning labels. Take some time to read the warnings on appliances. Take some time to read because when you start to read them, you're saying to yourself, "What?" But I guarantee you, every single one that has been written and vetted by the legal teams, when you read the warning label on on an iron and it says, "Do not iron your shirt while wearing it," that's because someone did it. Right? Like, that's because when you go to the old school McDonald's and it says, "Caution, coffee is hot. Do not place it, by your body parts or your leg," right? That's because someone tried to sue them, right, for the temperature in the coffee that they put between their legs.
Listen, at the end of every warning is a grandmother or a mother that's saying to a knucklehead, "Will you act like you got some sense?"
Act like you got some sense.
Guarantee it.
Oh, God, that is so good. That is so good. All right. Well, so let's jump into our quick shot because we got to wrap out this episode. But those warnings are something else. Burbo, you got a quick shot?
I do. I was, again, you know me too. I love being on Twitter. That's probably the only social media I like being on. But I saw a tweet concerning just code of conduct, social conduct, and it was from a parent. And the parent said and the parent says to my kid, he says, "The way I'm teaching you to behave, I want you to treat it like underwear. It's always good to have. You don't need to show it off, but just act like you got them on." Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. And I had to think about that. I said, you know what? That's social codes right there.
That's so perfect.
That's social codes. I act like
even if you're not wearing them, act like you're wearing them.
I need to always social conduct of behavior. Great to have. I don't need to show it off like I'm pompous or pious.
Good.
And I need to act like I got some sense at all times.
Yes. I love it. I love it. All right. So I just have a few examples of family social codes as well as kind of traditional societal social codes. But I think they all should start at home typically. But and obviously when they don't, then this is where these issues, become an issue. So I'm going to give you some examples of like these kind of family social codes or social codes. And you could say, keep it, I think this is something you would keep that we should maintain, or lose it. No, that one can go away.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So here we go. First one. What happens in the family stays in the family.
Oh, go keep that. Absolutely keep that. Because right now, keep that for several reasons. Number one, the society we live in, is too accepting of too many family dynamics. And here's what I mean. So here's what I mean. Like, I sometimes I'm out with Corinne and Corey, and I see a whole family acting a fool, and my whole face is like, why do we allow this as society? Like, why do we give these people a license to drive? Why do they have a right? I'm sounding like the right. Why do they have a right to vote? Why?
Oh no!
Because it's like I can't. No, and so for me, it's absolutely. I'm saying to myself, as a family, you all should have kept that in your home. Like, don't bring that out for us.
Don't bring that to the
mall.
mall.
We all have been lessened by a few brain cells because you brought that out. No. What happens in
Keep
family?
that at home.
Keep it in the family. Keep that at home. Absolutely. Keep your
I
dirty
love
laundry at home. Keep the stuff going on between your marriage at home. Keep the stuff happening in your kids at home.
Full on conversations in the elevator. Full on discussions.
Like,
You're like, why are we listening to this?
Why am I involved in this? I feel like Corinne. Where are my beats? I need my earphones.
My ears have been.
Right? I cannot unhear this.
All right, here's another one. Speaking quietly in public places.
Oh, please. Yes. Yes. Yes.
We don't see that at all. Like, everybody talks loud on the phone.
Way too loud.
Each other.
Way too
But we were raised
loud.
that way. We were raised, keep your voice down.
Right.
And even to the point where grandma used to get on mom because she always is loud. Grandpa was always loud. And she'd be like, please stop being so loud. Like, oh, that's a home training.
Oh my gosh. Why are you so loud? Like, first of all, and it goes right back to the first one. Why did you assume I want to hear your conversation?
I don't want to hear it.
I don't. Like, I practice minding my own business. I need your business to mind its own business.
Your business.
Come on.
Teach your business. Okay. Here's another one. Chew with your mouth closed.
Oh, gosh.
At all times. I'm not talking about public. I'm talking about, is it a family code or practice that you should chew with your mouth closed? Keep it or lose it.
That's such a culturally based thing. We were raised keep your mouth closed. That one's I'm gonna say keep it just simply because again, I don't want to see what you're chewing. I don't want to hear what you're chewing.
I don't want to hear it. It's not an ASMR video. No.
Right. I don't need my senses stimulated.
You can eat quietly. It is possible to eat quietly.
Absolutely.
And we got in trouble. You don't remember all the times you yelled at me like, Nikki, stop smacking.
And here's the
I had
thing.
to learn to stop smacking.
This was me helping you with self-preservation.
Right.
Because I had to learn the hard way to stop chewing with my mouth open. Stop smacking.
Take your plate. Just take your plate.
Right. I at the beginning of my life of eating, and mom said stop smacking, I always wondered why it was called smacking until she smacked me. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Oh, this is one of those didactic terms. You learn as you're doing it.
You learn as you go.
You learn as you're doing it. Oh.
Oh, God.
But,
all right,
this one. But see, the reason why I'm so hesitant, because then when me and the girls went to Beijing, well, what do they do then? They smack.
They smack and slurp like this.
They slurp.
The noodles.
So how do you tell a culture stop doing that? Leave that at home.
Was it bothersome? Like did it bother you guys?
The only reason why it bothered us because the way we were raised.
That's such a good point then. So
but if I wasn't raised that way, it would not have bothered me at all.
So that might be a lose it or case by case.
That's a case by case. Let me look at your family first, and I'll tell you whether or not you should keep it or lose it.
Well, here's the thing: if everybody collectively is doing it, then why would it bother? Like that's just how we eat,
and that's why I say culturally.
Everybody is eating quietly, but you maybe
you're the one, and they're gonna be looking like what you don't enjoy the food, and I'm like, no, I was just raised by good people. I was
You
raised by
quietly.
right. I was raised by good people. You uncouth. You
Right,
uncouth.
uncouth stuff. Take yourself. All right. Okay, here's another one. Making sure the house is clean before welcoming house guests. And this may be within a side note,
So,
the difference between family room and living room, right?
so,
Go ahead.
no, so I'm gonna say this. Growing up, I would say keep it,
Mm.
but as an adult, I say lose. And the
You get
reason
old.
why,
You just like,
listen. If you come in my house and my house is a mess, my hope is that you say, "Oh, I ain't never coming over there again." Then it worked.
because you want them to leave. That's so awful.
Then it worked.
Okay, that's condemning.
Right.
So you
That's
need to work on that.
condemning who though? Because to me, who's that condemning?
Your family and your friends who want to see you, and
listen,
probably
now
your nose is probably a little bit, gotten messy, gotten gross.
that's championing the moment. If I know I don't want you to come visit, then I've got to set up some
Look,
stuff.
your house is clean and you just mess it up just because they coming over.
As soon as someone says, "Hey, I'm on my way," I'm messing it up. I'm putting stuff everywhere.
Oh,
Like when they walk in and be like, "There's no place to sit." You right? You should go. You should go. You probably should turn around.
Okay, all right, like we got to round it. Let's do just a few more. Respecting other people's personal space.
Oh, keep it. Yeah, keep it, man. Just keep it.
Just keep it. That's all I'm
just,
saying.
well, because there's so many layers to that. Not I don't have in my circle. I don't have a lot of people that like their personal space violated.
Sure.
You know, so no, keep that because you don't know what the other. Keep it for me personally. Keep it because I don't. I don't want you in my space.
I don't want to be that close to you.
Yeah, I don't want to be. I don't need to know what you ate. I don't want to smell
Look,
you.
it's making him cringy now. He's
Right.
his skin crawling out. Like,
Right.
I feel like you right here.
Yeah, come on, keep your space, man.
3 feet,
Yeah.
3 feet.
Right now,
It's
right. I don't know,
funny.
6 feet. What's that? 6 feet. What's that? What's that statement? That one statement that was on social media, like the devil came up and said, I'm gonna mess up your world. And he said, I looked back at the devil, I said, 6 feet back, devil. 6 feet back.
I love that.
6 feet back.
6 feet. I love it. All right, let's do maybe one or two more. This is an interesting one. Children should be seen and not heard.
Lose it.
Yeah.
Absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
I have never been a fan of that thought process. Number one,
Yeah.
because I have found that a lot of children are more intellectually sound than adults.
100%.
I'd like to reverse it. Adults should be
Yeah.
seen and not heard.
Not heard. Oh no. That sounds
Absolutely.
like Boss Baby.
That sounds like joy. I
Exactly,
love to
joy.
hear kids. I love to hear kids.
Listen, that's biblical. You was like,
Yeah.
bring
Out
them
of the
on
mouths
up.
of babes. I love it. I love it.
It's like,
But
they
you
are
as an
much
adult,
better
would
than
you
crazy
shut up?
ones.
You as an
You're
adult,
right.
go sit down
Like,
and you shut up. You shut up.
take a nap. Don't think about it.
Yeah.
I love it. I like this one. Refraining from eating smelly foods in public or around other people.
So I'm gonna say keep it, but it ain't even about the other people. I personally just don't like smelly foods. I
Listen,
can't. Mm-mm.
don't be bringing your stinky stuff
right.
around. Like, eat that.
Like
Grandpa used to get in so much trouble with Grandma because he
yes.
used to eat like the raw onions and the raw green onion.
No, see, I'm
He
okay
would
with
kill
that.
them.
I'm okay with that.
No, she used to be
leave
like,
your
go
chitlins in your house.
outside.
Leave your,
You right?
leave your. I don't even like the smell of tuna. Leave your tuna in your house. Salmon patties, not salmon, but salmon patties. Leave that in your house. I don't want to smell none of it. Hey, listen, you on that brand new keto diet from Greece? Leave that in your house. You don't know. Leave that in your house. I don't want to smell that. No.
Oh,
You over here
God.
turning my stomach because you trying to eat some special diet. No, leave that in your house. If this is a public space, you need to have smells that the public are okay to smell it.
To smell. So
Period.
don't eat it beforehand.
Right.
Don't bring in it
Right.
past. I love
Right.
it. Don't be chewing on some garlic and then walking it. I love it. All right, last one. And this one's interesting because it speaks to that kind of evolution, but ladies first.
No, keep that. And there's actually a method, a way you do that. Keep that, number one, because we protect our women when we understand the priority of our women. So when I say ladies first, I'm talking it's a priority. So
That's
for
good.
instance, if we're going out of a door into a dark hallway, she doesn't go first, but she's still priority. I open
That's
the
good.
door, I go into the dark hallway, then she comes in. Was I less chivalrous? No, because we don't know what's in that dark hallway.
Good.
So it's the priority. Now, if I step out of a door that's glass, I can see what's out and there's no harm or danger. What I'm doing is I'm opening the door for her.
That's good. I
So
love it.
to me, it's a mindset of priority. I think when we protect our women, we actually protect so many things in relationships. We protect love, we protect peace, we protect we just protect so many things. So no, keep that one. Ladies first, the priority. Ladies should be the priority. Yeah, keep that for sure.
I love it. I'm gonna throw this one in here just because it gets under my skin when people don't do this. Waiting in line politely.
Yeah, keep it. Cause people get on my nerves that complain when they're in line or try to
Yes.
cheat and cut the line.
Yes.
All of
Just
that
like my thing is,
aggravates
if you
me.
don't have to get it, then leave. Leave. Go get
Right.
it somewhere else.
Or
Order online.
or
Come back
even if
later.
you do have to get it, if you see the line, leave. Go get it online, go
Leave.
someplace else, whatever it is.
Yes.
But don't get in line and I have to listen to you and then be right behind me, tapping me on my shoulder and complaining.
Less than 3 feet. Less than
Yeah,
3 feet.
listen,
Sighing and huffing and puffing.
man, do I look like I'm a suggestion box? Shut up. Shut up.
Or asking the question, really, they
Am
don't
I
have
the
any other
complaint?
checkers?
Oh,
Clearly
come
they don't
on.
because they're
Am
not
I,
here.
am I HR? Do I know?
Right.
No, leave me alone. Like, dog, man, go someplace else. I see. You know what? I'm gonna let Corinne. Corinne is teaching me a social code right now. I'm gonna wear these beats everywhere I
I'm
go.
telling you. So they just don't have to talk to you. But yeah, if you're one of those people that gets impatient and you're waiting in line, be polite. Just suck it up and wait till you get out, then get upset. Don't while you're in the line, hush your mouth.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I think just as a general rule, people should be quiet.
See, you said that.
Just as a general
He's
rule.
totally
I feel like
changed it.
everything I answered was just be quiet. I think just be quiet. The golden, isn't that it? Silence is golden. Just be quiet.
Silence is golden.
Just
2
be
ears,
quiet.
1 mouth. Listen twice
Just-
as much.
I
Have
think
you
a
met your
social
quota?
code
Your listening quota.
should be don't talk. Like just be quiet. Just be quiet.
Oh, I love it. All right, so bro, what do you have for the final blow?
So for the final blow, we've really been talking about I know we've labeled it social codes, but what we're really kind of been talking about is what are those things we instill in our children? What are those things that were instilled in you that when you stick to these things, life just becomes better for you? You see a more appropriate and acceptable behavior, mindset, management of feelings, activities that you do that just kind of create a better life. And it's so important to pass those things down. And so while we're kind of coming from a sibling connection or perspective, it also goes into more of a parental pass down from generation to generation. And what a family brand often does is it leaves something for our children. Well, that becomes the question: what family brand are we leaving for our children? If we don't instill acceptable social codes or codes of conduct or behaviors, then we leave actually nothing for them because their behaviors won't be able to handle society's effort to take what they do have from them. And here's where I get that from. In the book of Proverbs, Solomon writes in 13th chapter, he writes, "A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children, but the sinner's wealth is laid up for the righteous." And here's what that, because this is a book of wisdom, so here's what that means. What you pass down to your children, whatever they hold on to, whatever integrates within them, it's either going to make a better life for them, or it's going to cause them to lose great things in life. So when Solomon writes at inheritance and then sinners wealth laid up, what he's really talking about is did you teach your children and your children's children? Did you pass down generation to generation a code of conduct that's something that they can inherit and build and find value in? Or did you let them just kind of run amok mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, and now everything is taken from them because you didn't put a good code within them so that they can make it, so that they could thrive and survive in this in society, thrive and survive socially at the end of every single day. What I have, what Nikki has, what you have, what your siblings have, what your parents have is a code of conduct that helps you make it from day to day better than if you didn't have any boundaries, didn't have any couth, didn't have any morals. That code of conduct is definitely what allows you just again to make it with joy, make it with peace, make it better today than you did on yesterday. So that's my final play.
I love it. Fantastic. All right. And we're coming to the end of the episode. As always, we thank you so much for joining us yet again. Please help us build the Savage Siblings community. Like, share, comment, leave a review, subscribe, send this episode to your favorite Savage sibling. Help us grow it together. Maybe there's family social codes that you learned growing up that you want to share. Maybe there's a few of those social codes that you couldn't wait to let go of, to change, to challenge, to alter. Please share with us. We want to hear from you. A huge shout out to our amazing team, the folks that work with us to make it all possible. Dwayne McClendon and Kyle Davis, our sound editors. Ronnie Maxwell of Maxwell Music, our music producer. Keith Cross of K-Cross Photography, helping us with these amazing photos. Shout out to my niece Daniela for all the web design, marketing content. You are a beast. We love you. To our parents for their DNA and all the funny life lessons. And of course, to you, the listeners, we are so glad you're here with us. Well, until next time, remember, don't go through life alone. See you soon.
Peace.